Hey guys, hey, it's Mr. Anderson here. Let's see, let me get my camera or my computer set here. Hey, getting ready to do another picture. Let's go to our, wait, not apps. What am I doing? I'm gonna go down here. I want to go to our document camera. Let's see if it all is working good today or if we need to do some adjustments. All right, that's not looking bad. Actually, it looks perfectly in focus. Okay, so I'm going to hide this here so you guys don't have to see that. Uh, let's adjust the height of our camera. Whoop, whoop. All right, I think I can. There. Now we're getting the whole paper in, aren't we? Okay. Um, just a couple reminders for last week to turn in uh, the 1 point perspective room drawing. Okay. This one here today is going to be an outdoor 2 point perspective picture. And it'll be very similar because we're going to start it today, and then we'll add more detail to it on Friday and turn it in. Um, for this particular assignment, today's on Canvas, there won't be a spot for you to turn this in, right? Just like last week. There'll be a spot for you to turn the two-part drawing in on Friday. Okay, so let's get started. While I'm talking, I could talk while I draw. Um, for this, it's going to be outdoors. So I'm going to put a horizon line on this picture. I'm going to choose somewhere in the middle of the paper. Okay, now the horizon line is where the sky meets the land. Okay, and somewhere on that horizon line, I'm going to have a couple of vanishing points. They're very small points where all those orthogonal lines are converging. Okay, so I'm going to, and I wanted to think about a couple things. This horizon line, where it is on my paper, can kind of change the way my paper looks depending where I put it. Let me do a couple little quick examples. Let's imagine that here I have the horizon line in the middle, and I end up uh, drawing a house in perspective kind of in the middle of my paper. You can see what that looks like, right? You see that? Over here, if I put a horizon line up high, draw the same kind of house here. Well, it's not quite looking quite right. That could look, like I'm down kind of lower, right? If I put kind of like a bug's eye view, think of that as a bug's eye view. If I have my horizon line down low and I do a little house here, this, you're seeing more sky. All right, so it's kind of like more of a bird's eye view. All right, so you can think about that when you're putting your horizon line on. I put mine right in the middle. You feel free to put it in the middle or up a little higher or lower. Um, Again, I need a couple, and I didn't really do that with the ruler. If I do, I want it to be horizontal. Now, because I'm going to be drawing, I mentioned an outdoor scene or a city scene. There's going to be things that are going to cover this. In other words, I'm going to be erasing some of it. So keep that in mind. All right. I'm going to put a vanishing point way over here on the far end on the right and do the same thing way over here on the far end on the left. Okay. Then I'm going to start off. In this case, this building, I'm going to start with a corner. Okay. So I'm going to start off with a line. I'll show you what I mean. And I'm going to make this pretty big. I'm going to go about in the middle of my paper, near the middle. I'm not going to draw this all the way from top to bottom, but maybe close. All right, maybe I'm leaving it about a 1/4 inch from the top, a 1/4 inch from the bottom. Okay. Hey, don't forget, look, man, I was looking at the pictures, that were turned into the 1-point perspective. They were fantastic. There were just a couple. Actually, I can think of one or two. Couple. That some people used the ruler, right? They were like freehanding it, okay? But most of, there were some really crisp, really nice drawings. What I'm going to do is use my straight edge. You remember, if you don't have a ruler, any straight edge will work, okay? Just like in the last videos. I'm going to draw a line from the top corner of that line I just drew, that vertical line. I'm going to draw it to my vanishing point, toward my vanishing point, okay? Like that. Whoa, can you see that? All right, just like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing down below here. Now this really is a guideline, right? This building, I'm drawing a building right now, and this building is not going to be this big all the way to the vanishing point. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and cut this building off. I'm going to come in, here is the corner of the building. I want to find where the side is. I think somewhere, I'm going to kind of line my ruler up here in the middle, and I'm going to kind of slide it over, trying to keep it parallel. I was trying to do a little trick to help you keep it parallel, okay? Remember, I want this line vertical, just like our corner, and I'll draw a line going down. Now, here's the thing. If this is the side of our building, we're not going to be able to see through it. I'm going to erase that. I'm going to erase that line there, okay? I'm also going to go ahead and erase the rest of this guideline. We don't need that right now. There could be more guidelines later. And really same for the bottom, but just for the moment, since it is the bottom where the street might be, I'm going to leave that line, okay? Now, let's go to the other side of this building. I'm coming over here. I want to line up my ruler again to my vanishing point from the corner to the vanishing point, right? And draw what is mostly a guideline. Do the same thing down at the bottom. Make sure you're lining things up nice and crisp, okay? Line that up like there. Now I want to do the same thing. This is the corner that I'm looking at. I'm going to come over this direction. All right. I could line my ruler up again. I could kind of slide it over if your ruler slides. We'll go about there. Again, I'm looking up here. Does that look about the same distance as it does down here? And I'll go ahead and draw that line. I think it did. Okay. Now again, can't see this horizon line through the building, right? And I'll go ahead and get rid of this top this top guideline. Like that. Sorry, I gotta get that shaking a little bit. So I don't know. Can you see? Do you have a sense that maybe it's starting to look like a building? What do you guys think? Maybe you can kind of feel like it's a little bit the illusion of 3D. Remember, this is all supposed to be an illusion. We got a couple things that will help. All right. I want more than just one building here. This is looking like a skyscraper. I'm going to put another building next to it. Now, as we talked about in our 1-point dimension or 1-point perspective, things shrink as they go into space, right? So this building, because it's a little bit further down, it's going to be smaller. And if I made it bigger, which you can, because there could be a smaller building in front of a big building, let's do that. Matter of fact, I'm going to give a little bit of space, okay? So there's going to be a little space between this building and the next. It's still going to be vertical. I'm drawing the corner again, just like before. Give a little bit of space, enough room to get in between them. All right, again, kind of eyeballing these two areas. Let's make this one a little bit taller. All right, and I'm just going to stop at my guideline here, okay? Because imagine that this is a street going down the road. But if you can't quite imagine that yet, just wait, we'll get to that, okay? Now, same thing, I want to draw a guideline from here, this top corner of this building, down to my vanishing point. Same vanishing point as last time, okay? You guys see that's going there? And I'll do one in this direction. The only thing about this one up here, do you guys see what's going to happen? It's going to hit this building. So I'm going to line my ruler up from the corner to the vanishing point. However, this time I'm going to go here and I'm going to stop before it hits that building. All right. You see that, how that worked? I got to stop there. If it goes through the building's not see-through. Okay. Not that there aren't see-through buildings, but not completely. So I'm also going to put a little line this corner. Okay. Do you see that corner? He's got a line going this way. But what about one going this way? If I put one here, you guys see that? See where I'm at? Down at the bottom corner of this. And I put a little line right there. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of this. All right. Now I'm kind of feeling like I've got a building here and another one. What I'm going to do is, remember how I've got to make this, decide how wide this building is? I'm going to make it a little bit thinner than the one before. I'm going to kind of line my ruler up here. Yeah, maybe about that wide. And draw a line down. And let me go ahead and get rid of the horizon line in the middle of the building. Let me go ahead and get rid of the guideline going all the way to the vanishing point. All right, and now you can see we've got two buildings. All right, I'm going to keep adding them. Okay, let's do another. Let's do a little bit shorter one. Imagine somewhere along here, there's a shorter building. Maybe it's only this tall. Okay, maybe it's a parking garage. Whatever you want in your city. I'm going towards the vanishing point again. I got to decide how wide this is and get rid of some of that. Well, I was just lining up here with my ruler and I started thinking about the edge of the paper is even closer. Okay, the edge of the paper is obviously vertical. I could keep things more vertical and keep things from leaning. It almost looks like this might lean just a little bit. But maybe that's because it's old. Who knows? Now, also, got to think about the line going over to this direction and a line going to this direction for the bottom. So, again, I'm not going to go through the buildings with this line. I'm going to line this up, stop at that building. Okay, line it up with the bottom corner, stop at that building, just like that. Okay, then let's go ahead and erase the horizon line in the middle there, and our guideline going to vanishing point. What do you think? It's starting to build up to be a little city, right? I'm going to continue. Let's continue some more. I'm going to put another building here. This city doesn't end. There's no end to this city. And I'm going to make it a taller one. That seems tall enough. Whatever you want, but you'll notice that the further you are away from the vanishing point on the left here, the angle, you notice I'm lined up with my vanishing point over here, right? But because the buildings are here, I'm not going to hit them. Also, I might not want this building to be that wide, so I'm going to stop early there. You see that? I'm going to go ahead and draw another vertical line right here. Kind of eyeball this, make sure it looks. But the angle, what I was talking about, the angle here is a slow, isn't as abrupt or isn't as large as it is on this one. Look how close I am to this vanishing point here and how far up I'm going. So the angle is coming down at a lot stronger rate, okay? Again, kind of line this up like so. I can draw that. All right, go ahead and get rid of the horizon line in here. All right. What do you think of this side so far? So far. All right. I have a lot more to do. I'm going to come over to this side now and add a few. Okay. Let's go ahead and add, it's the same as the other side was. I'm trying to make imagine that these little areas here are kind of like little alleys in between the buildings. So I'm going to make this little alley similar in size. This side I'm not trying to be symmetrical. You can be, but I'm going to make this one a little bit shorter this time than the one prior. Draw from the corner to the vanishing point here on the right side of this left building. All right. Oh, might as well get the bottom too. All right. I'll go ahead and line up the right corner for this left building, just like that. Now, of course, that horizon line in the middle will be gone. You'll see in the end, my horizon line, I'm just going to have like a little bit at the very ends, but it's in there behind the buildings. Okay. Now, decide how wide you want this building to be, how large. I think I'll make it about this big. Oh, before I do that, let's draw our guideline from the top of the building. All right. Goes towards the vanishing point again. You notice I've been drawing it to the vanishing point or pretty close to it. You see it's almost there. This is really, if you know it's heading in that direction, you don't always have to draw it all the way there. Then you don't have to erase as much, okay? But for the purpose of this lesson, I will draw them, a lot of them, close to all the way there, okay? Go ahead and make sure your ruler looks like it's perfectly vertical and cut off where you want the building to be. And it's going to be right there. Okay? And that guideline that I put on there, put that. All right? What do you think? So far, so good. All right? I still want to add some more. I think this time, I went with the medium, then tall, then short. I'm going to go medium, short, and now I'm going to go tall. So let's get another line here. And this one's going up to the top. All right. It's looking all right. Straight enough. All right. I'm going to, again, draw the lines here towards the vanishing point on the right. Now I'll have to decide how big is this building. I might not go all the way to that building. Okay. I'm also going to draw a line for the left side of this building going towards our vanishing point. Okay. Oh, and the bottom corner. I almost forgot it. let's get that alleyway made. Line this up right in there. Now, oh, that didn't quite touch. Let's get a little mark there. Now, up here, I need to figure out how wide this is, how big this building is widthwise. Okay, I think I'm just going to drop this down here, like so. All right. Then I need to come out here and make a line, a vertical line parallel to our corner, probably in here somewhere. Yeah. Now I'm looking, always want to be aware of if I'm vertical or not, okay? There we go. Now get rid of some horizon line. Get rid of some guideline. I was drawing that a little bit heavy. You guys could always draw lighter too for some of these things. A little bit sketchier and then go over it to make it darker, okay? And you can see we're getting quite a few buildings here. I was just thinking of our time. We probably got about 10 more minutes here before we better cut this off for part 2. But we'll add a lot of detail on part 2. Now, one thing, let's go ahead. There is something. Let's add something here. Maybe another medium-sized building. Again, I always draw that corner line first. And I go up maybe that high. Let's go ahead and draw. Remember all the things on the right side of the buildings. Their lines go towards the right vanishing point. Okay? And then all the things on the left side of the building will go towards the left vanishing point. All right, like that. And another vertical line. Oh, notice I was looking at this vertical and we're pretty far off on the left side of my ruler. So sometimes it happens to me, and sometimes it might happen to you when you're drawn in perspective. I saw it on a couple people's on their 1-point perspective. Things they want to laying down, it starts to lean. It's like, whoa, they start leaning. So try and keep vertically vertical. Try and keep horizontal, and all the other lines go to the vanishing point, okay? I can see here on this building, it looks like it's leaning a little bit. It's like one of those old brick buildings from the early 1900s. Hey, around here, we might need a place for people to walk. So I'm thinking about a sidewalk here. I'm going to draw a line going kind of, I'll show you. You guys kind of see that? All right. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to try and make it about the same width. So I'm looking at the width here. I'm going to try and match that in here. Make it similar. Close, right? This looks like it might be close. So like if I continue that, the corner of the sidewalk would be down here. Now, think about this. If I continued on, like if I were really paying attention to a real sidewalk, the lines, they would have a line. They have cracks, right? And kind of like this. And what I want to do is if you don't have a ruler that can measure, you don't have to measure this. We could do this remember how the tiles, I had a little trick with a diagonal line to make it go shorter and shorter. Well, for this, I'm going to kind of guesstimate, all right? I'm gonna make I want to make these little cracks. I'm gonna put lines in the sidewalk, but I'm gonna make them get shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter the further they go back in space. So just thinking about that, if I go here with that width, I was just thinking I kind of would like to have, definitely would like to have lines coming out where the, oh, I forgot a line here. Look at that sidewalk line. I'd kind of like to have one up in here. Now you'll notice the angle is coming up here. And as we get closer and closer and closer to the horizon line, it will get closer and closer and closer to horizontal. So anyway, I was thinking about this. I'll use my ruler to line these up, but for now, I'm gonna kind of just make it smaller each time. Okay, let's just do it. I'm gonna draw a line here. I'm gonna make this one a little bit, I'm looking at the width here, make this one a little bit skinnier. Not much, just a little. Really, I'm gonna go ahead and just make this skinnier. Kind of forget this alley. I made that a little too skinny. So always remember, these are all lined up with your vanishing point. The ones on the right are lined up with the vanishing point on the left, which is a little confusing, right? You can kind of see, if you can see, they're getting a little bit shorter each time. Now they're going to be really close together by the time I get down to the end of this. Let's just find out, okay? Starting to feel like I should have started a little bit bigger. I'm still going with it. There's someone in here. I'm going to back it up just a little bit because I think I'm getting too small too fast. I'm going right to here. All right. I'm not redoing them all. I'm just redoing a few. I'm going to go to here. I'm going to go ahead and make this all one since it is an alley. Then when I come out of the alley, I'm going to start off a little bit bigger and then slowly get smaller, okay? Here we go. Remember to keep that lined up with your vanishing point. Kind of turning my paper because my straight edge is a little bit long. Now, let's see here. Oh, we're getting close. Now again, as you get closer and closer, these lines are going to get closer together. They are going to get a little closer to horizontal. Always remember to keep that ruler lined up. Not that you couldn't have some messed up looking sidewalks some places. But it's a lot of lines going all the way back here. Whoa. There we go. Now, once these get really, really small like this, I might just go in there with my hand and very lightly add a little bit, okay? Now, remember on the door that we did on the 1-point perspective, how I gave it some depth? Well, sidewalks have depth too, okay? From the street to the sidewalk. So I'm going to draw a thin line going from my vanishing point all the way up here to the front of this road, all right? And if I put some vertical lines at each one of these cracks, see what that does. When it gets really small, way up here, that's about it, okay? Now I'm going to erase that, clean this up a little bit. Like that, all right? Check it out. So next, of course, I'd want to do the other side, okay? Thing is, I've about used up a half hour. Now, on Monday, or I'm sorry, on our next video, which would be technically Fridays, we're going to I'll show you how to put some windows and doors in some of these buildings. That's a lot of buildings, right? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'll just show you how to add some details to it, and keeping that in perspective, because if I did a window up here, it's still going to be going to our vanishing point, which again, I'll talk about that in our next. For now, I'm just going to, I think, just put a little line here for this sidewalk. I think that I'll save that for next time as well. You know, here, again, there's all kinds of little details we could put in there. So, we started this, I think this video at 125. It's been probably almost 35 minutes. So you guys work on that, get to this stage and save it, okay? Save it for the next video. Again, I'll have a turn in button and I'll talk about that again in our next video, turning this in, okay? So you guys have a great day. I will see you in the next, actually I'll see you in the next video, and or I'll see you on our Google Meets on Thursday, okay? All right. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and like. You guys, I'll see you. Oh, wait, I didn't say it. Wait, let me click this. All right. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Oh, ring that little bell. That's what one of the kids told me. All right. See you.